a massive part of Batman, and to a point, something that defines Martha's backstory, personality, and how they died can change kind of drastically between adaptations. But when I was younger, whenever Bruce's parents were in anything, they were usually presented as good, honest people.
The city's been suffering. People less fortunate than us have been enduring very hard times.
That was a big part of why Bruce blamed himself for leading them there into that alley, or simply just standing by as they died, even though there's no way he could have done anything about it. This event doesn't just traumatize him, that isn't just the point, just to give him a reason to be traumatized. It exposes him to what the real world is. His whole life up to the age that his parents die at, he doesn't really know desperation. He's kind of been fed not even a silver spoon, but from a platinum spoon. He's never experienced struggle, and that's usually how, he becomes Batman, and a big reason for it, why he goes across the world and learns the struggle of criminals. He learns how they think, not just how they act. But a trend I've noticed in recent years is they try and give the Wayne's killer, whether it be Joe Chill or somebody else, sort of a moral high ground or reason for killing them. They used to be like one of the few rich people in Gotham who weren't just corrupt and wanted to make a difference, and were making a difference and helping people less fortunate than them. But now it's gone to them being equally as corrupt and reviled as some people like Falcone or Sionis. The first time I saw this kind of corrupt Wayne parents take was in the Telltale series. Those games did a lot of actually new and interesting things that I found intriguing, good and bad. But in that game, Thomas was a completely deplorable and irredeemable character. He sentenced the Penguin's mother to death, knowing full well she was perfectly sane. And
I'll sell you the land. Please don't do this.
You had your chance. You should have made the deal we offered you. Give her the drug.
Thomas, we're friends. Our boys play together.
He didn't need to be locked away. And he locked plenty of other people away in Arkham Asylum as the head doctor of the place, who were completely sane. But keeping them away benefited him and the criminal organizations in Gotham. But a more recent example was in The Batman. But even in this, it's revealed that Thomas's father wasn't entirely corrupt. He didn't have Thomas Elliot, this news reporter. I think it's meant to be a reference to Thomas Elliot. Killed. That wasn't his doing. But everyone sees it that way, and it's revealed that Thomas had nothing to do with any of these deaths. But to a degree, he was still corrupt. He was still taking bribes and assistance from the Falcone family. He still knew these criminal organizations on a personal level. People tried to corrupt him, like Falcone, so that they could kind of puppet him and have a direct connection to Gotham's government. Don't get me wrong, these takes are interesting alternative stories and sort of give a unique obstacle for Bruce to sort of navigate through that I hadn't really seen him do before these stories had been around. But it also takes away from his origin to a degree. The two most important people in his life, the most important event in his life, these good, gracious people, his parents who did what they could to help people, are killed in front of him by someone who was a part of the people they were trying to actually help. This struggling, homeless criminal who got scared or impatient and just took what he needed and ran away. Making Joe Chill some kind of hired killer and the Wayne some kind of morally questionable characters sort of creates a hypocrisy within Batman's tale and his own personal reasonings. To an extent, his parents control him from beyond the grave. They are the reason he starts this whole crusade for vengeance in the first place. However, no matter what, in almost every Batman story, in his origin, he learns that he never really truly mourned them or grew emotionally. He's still mentally and emotionally the 8-year-old boy in that alley with blood on his hands. Once he realizes that this symbol he's made can and does mean something to not just him, but to everybody in Gotham, he finally sort of grows up Instead of being a petulant rich boy with a bunch of military-grade weapons, just punch people for the sake of punching people, he decides he wants to properly help people. Even out of the cow, this is an argument I see a lot of people using a lot, is that why doesn't he just use his money for good instead of dressing up as like a bat? But the thing is, he does do that, and it still doesn't work. He gives to charities, building and rebuilding old buildings where people live. He does what he can in and out of the costume, but none of it seems to really help as much as in costume. And even then, it's sort of a futile effort to a degree. In reality, Bruce's parents don't need to define him. They aren't the entire point of their character. The point of their death isn't to see him struggle to cope at the age of 35 over a 2-decade-old series of deaths. It's to push him to become something greater, have a greater purpose, not just for vengeance, but for hope.
You ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?
It doesn't mean I don't care anymore. I don't want to let you down, honest, but it just doesn't hurt so bad anymore. You can understand that, can't you? Look, I can give money to the city. They can hire more cops. Let someone else take the risk. But it's different now.
I've tried to be patient. I've tried to wait. But I have to know. How, Father? How do I do it? What do I use to make them afraid? If I ring the bell, Alfred will come. Another of your gifts to me, Father. But I'd rather die than wait another hour. I've already waited 18 years. You can never escape me. Nothing harms me, but I know pain. I know.
I didn't count on being happy.